What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Taurean Reloaded channel. If you are new, please be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to have your notifications set to all on all devices, including mobile devices, so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video or go live. Be sure to like, comment, and share this content on your various social media platforms. So today I'm back to do another movie review. Today I will be reviewing Jordan Peele's third film, Nope. When I first heard about this movie, it was literally just in a movie poster that he posted up on his Instagram account last year, like literally about a year ago, for a movie that was coming out a year from then, which of course came out today. And all I saw on the poster, it was just a sky, a cloud, and some kind of string hanging from it, and it just had the actors who was going to be in the movie, and that was pretty much it. There was a lot of mystery behind it. Nobody knew what anything was about. Jordan Peele is very good when it comes to secrecy on topics such as that. So when that trailer first dropped back in February for the Super Bowl, then it started to come together about what the movie might actually be about. And when we saw what we saw in the trailer, we kind of said, oh, now we pretty much see it is what it is. But one of the things that people was asking was, what's going to be the hidden message? What's going to be the thing that had people doing think pieces like they did with Get Out or Us? And I can honestly say I think this is one of the first movies that Jordan Peele has done that at least for me, it might be something there, but I didn't see it, or maybe something that I missed, that does not have one of those think piece type of deals with it. He just wanted to make a sci-fi film. Just, have a level of mystery, science fiction, and horror and suspense all rolled into one. Also, some comedy in there as well, without it being too technical. And at first, I thought that would have been a con for me, but honestly, I think that's a pro, at least on for him, because he doesn't want to get shoehorned into a box where he's always doing a social commentary style horror movie, although those are fun to have and he's pretty much excelled at that, but that's not all you want to do. So he just wanted to make a sci-fi movie, and this is pretty much what we had. And it's very rare that you have a movie like this where it has a majority, well, pretty much a black led cast with Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer being the lead actor and lead actress of the film. But basically what this movie Nope is about is you have two siblings. One name is named OJ. He's the male sibling played by Daniel Kaluuya, and you have a sister whose name is Emerald, but in the movie they call her M, played by Keke Palmer. And they basically live on this ranch that is owned by their father, who was played by Keith David. And the ranch basically has horses on there where they're connected to Hollywood because the movie takes place in California. And basically the horses are used to sell products, movies, or anything like that in the form of entertainment. And they own a ranch where they keep the horses at. They pretty much live in a ranch that's almost out in the middle of nowhere. Because a lot of times when you have ranches, they're not surrounded by anything. They're not surrounded like by cities, because they have to have a lot of open spaces, because that's where the horses have to roam free. And it's like everything is just going fine and everything like that. But then all of a sudden, just weird stuff starts to happen. Like, you keep looking up in the sky and there's something there, but you can't really tell exactly what it is. By now, I feel like I'm not really so much spoiling anything, because if you saw the last trailer that they came out with, which came out about a month ago, it pretty much revealed what they were most likely dealing with. And you kind of got a hint of that with the first trailer, but you wasn't too sure as well of what it was dealing with. But I'm gonna just flat out say it. This movie is dealing with a possible alien invasion. That's pretty much what it is. But what I liked, what that Jordan Peele did with it, is he didn't do the typical alien invasion thing like a lot of other alien type invasion movies have done in the past. He did his own take on what it actually is. Let me just say that whoever did the sound in this movie did a phenomenal job. The sound that they made for the ship that the alien was in, or I should say the alien, was phenomenal. It was eerie because it had a combination of this eerie sound plus people screaming whenever it pulled people or pulled something into the eye or the mouth of the ship. and it was just like eerie how all of that actually came together. I just love the sound. Whoever did that, it was one scene in this movie where the ship comes down and it comes really really low to the ground. That scene actually sent chills through my body because of the music, the sound, and everything is just going like at a heavy adrenaline like pace. But back to the characters. OJ, like I said, played by Daniel Kaluuya, he basically works on the ranch with his dad. He's the one that really helps out the most with him. Emerald, she's really all about being out there. She's about making a name for herself in the Hollywood atmosphere. She really doesn't like to be too attached to the family business as far as taking care of the horses and stuff like that. I'm not going to spoil because it's actually given away in the movie. If you watch the movie, you'll understand why she kind of shied away from it, but she was still a part of it. But she doesn't do a lot of the hands-on stuff at the same time. Despite how many people might feel about Keke Palmer, she did a phenomenal job with her acting in this movie. Like, she really sold her character. Like, she actually made you believe that she was this heavy, energetic type of person who was determined to find out what was going on in that sky. I'm gonna tell you like this movie, by the time you walk up out of it, you're gonna probably be scared to look up in the sky. The name of this movie should have been called Don't Look Up, but they already had that movie lined up with Netflix. Because I'm telling you right now, if I look at a cloud in the sky and that thing has not moved in like a minute and it's just sitting there, I'm going to assume it's something behind that, hiding behind that cloud. And I like how they did the big reveal, because it was a big reveal for the entity. I'm just going to call it that because it really didn't have a name. I like how they revealed it, because it was a very unique way. Like I said, the way that Jordan Peele did it, it wasn't the typical Martians coming down and just snatching people up or sending them back to wherever it is that they came from, even to the point with how the interior of the ship looked. Like, they even showed you the inside of it. Was very interesting. I'm not going to spoil that because I know some people are going to want to see this, and I don't want y'all to get ruined by it or say, oh, Taurean said it was this, and I wanted to be caught by surprise about what it is. And I think one of the biggest, I would say, this thing had an interesting, I wouldn't say it was a plot twist, but the way that to avoid being taken up by this entity, I thought was very interesting, which is why I thought of the whole Don't Look Up scenario, not so much the movie itself, but just not looking up in the sky. Like, I thought that was very interesting of how to protect oneself. I also like how they also had some little things from his previous movies scattered around in here. And I noticed those off of the first glimpse because I saw it with a couple people and I said, oh, that's from that movie and that's from that movie. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, Jordan, I see what you're doing here. I can tell they gave him a bigger budget this time around too, because the stuff that they had in this movie, you could tell the budget for this versus Get Out and Us, because Get Out and Us were more practical. They didn't use many special effects when it came to those movies. There was a lot of practical stuff. But with this one, you can tell Blumhouse threw a bunch of money at and Universal threw a bunch of money at Jordan Peele to allow him to make this film. You could tell he had more time to make this movie. It was just like all around very interesting, a good sci-fi film. Now I'm gonna tell you this: don't go into this movie expecting, like I said, this secret hidden message like it was with Get Out, or this deep message with Us, or a deep message with Get Out. It's not. You're not gonna find it, and I think that's going to be a con for him, for some of his viewing audience, because a lot of them are so used to seeing that element from him because he's done it 2 times already and it worked for him. So people expect that to happen here. I'm here to tell you to not go into this expecting that. Just go into it with an open mind. It's a sci-fi movie. It's going to have a lot of mystery to it. Don't try to nose dive into this and be too deep into it. Just let it play out and let it flow the way that it's supposed to. If you feel there's a level of mystery there, just let the mystery just stay and linger there. Don't try to go too deep into it and try to figure everything out. Maybe it's meant to be set up that way, almost in a way of the suspension of disbelief. Like, something is supposed to make sense or supposed to be there, it probably doesn't to you, but maybe that's just how it was meant to play out. And I think that's what what angle he was going with for here. And I think he started to tap into that when he did his rendition of the Twilight Zone, which I did not watch. I wasn't really interested in. I'm not really a Twilight Zone person anyway, so it's nothing against them. It's just that I wasn't never into it. Even like the show, I think it was an older show back in the day, and I think they made a movie about it as well. I just never into the Twilight Zone like that, but I will recognize that theme song when I hear it. So it's no slight to him, it's just that I was never into the Twilight Zone. But all in all, I really did enjoy Nope. And by the way, Nope is an acronym. I found that out a while back. Nope is indeed an acronym. I'm curious to find out from anybody who's watching this video right now, what do you think the acronym stands for? Even though Google is your friend, and I'm sure that you're going to be able to Google it and it's going to tell you. But it does stand for something. And I said, oh, I see what he did there. He took something like that, formed it into an acronym, and then that could be relatable to something about Black people and how we would react when we see something like that. Because a lot of times, if we saw something like that, just like flying around the sky, Nope is the first thing that comes to our mind, and we're just quick to go into the other direction. We ain't trying to investigate nothing. We're just trying to get up out of there. But all in all, I really did enjoy this movie. Like I said, you're going to get a mixture of horror, science fiction, suspense, and some comedy. And there's a mixture of all of those wrapped into one. I would say anytime that the threat was on screen, it was an ominous feeling. I mean, just think of like something flying above you. You can't look at it or it's going to do something. And it acted like, to me, like an EMP. Anytime it was hovering over something, it literally would knock all the power out for the duration of the time that it was there, just to make sure that nothing could capture it. Because it's almost like you could see it, but it didn't want technology to see it either. That's why some people was wondering, what, who was the real bad guy of this movie? Was it the entity or was it the humans? Because it's almost like a territorial thing. You know, sometimes when you get into the territory of something else that doesn't want you there, it's going to do anything that it can to remove that threat or what they perceive to be a threat. So in a way, it's like when you're looking at this movie, who is the initial threat? Is it the entity? Because I'm gonna keep calling it that, or was it the humans? It's pretty much another one of those things that Jordan Peele puts in the movie that allows you to draw your own interpretation and your own conclusions. What do you think is a bigger threat? Something that's hovering over what it believes to be its own when it may not be, or the other thing that feels that the other thing, the entity, is being almost in a way of violated, privacy, so to speak, even when they're not trying to. Because it's like it's always this thing of, I have to be curious about it, but I have to be cautious at the same time. It's a lot of things that goes on with this movie. You just have to like literally go in there and just watch it and kind of focus. And one thing about Jordan Peele movies is you probably cannot get everything the first go around, and it might be some things that you miss. So a lot of people are going to definitely see this a second, maybe possibly even a third time. I'm thinking about seeing it a second time with a different audience, just to get the reaction out of it. But that's pretty much my take on Nope. Y'all let me know what you think.